Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make pumpkin bread. Here I have 3 1/4 cups of flour, 3 1/4 teaspoons salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoons allspice, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoons of baking soda. This is 1 can of pure pumpkin. You want to make sure it's pure pumpkin. The only ingredient on the label should be pumpkin. This is 12 tablespoons of butter, which I will melt, 4 eggs, 1/2 cups of buttermilk, and then here I have 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of granulated sugar. First, I'm going to melt the butter in the microwave. As stated in previous videos, you want to be very careful so that it doesn't explode and make a huge mess. Butter is melting, I will mix all of my dry ingredients together. Mixing all of my dry ingredients, the first wet ingredient I will put in my mixer is the pumpkin. After putting the pumpkin into my mixer, I'm going to crack 1 egg in at a time and mix until the yolk is broken. After each of the eggs is mixed in, I will pour in the melted butter. Once the butter is nice and mixed in, I will start adding the dry ingredients along with the buttermilk. You want to alternate adding these, so first start with the dry ingredients and put it on the very lowest speed so it doesn't go flying everywhere. And then once it mixes in a bit, pour in a little bit of buttermilk, and you will alternate these until everything is mixed in. Once all of the ingredients are mixed together and the dough is ready, you will grease a loaf pan and pour about half of the dough into the loaf pan, and then put it into a preheated 350-degree oven for 40 to 45 minutes. After 40 to 45 minutes, you'll take the loaf out of the oven and place it on a cooling rack to cool for about 5 minutes. Also make sure that the loaf is fully baked by sticking a cake tester or a toothpick, or in this case this is a martini olive pick, which works just as well. It came out clean, so I know that my loaf is fully baked. After about 5 minutes of cooling in the loaf pan, I'm going to turn the loaf out onto the cooling rack to finish cooling. Make sure to put your hot pad holders back on because the pan is still pretty hot. And then you'll let it cool for another 5 to 10 minutes. Once you've let the pan cool completely, you'll want to respray it, and then you can make another loaf. Once the bread has cooled a bit, you can enjoy it many different ways. I softened some butter, or at least thought I softened some butter, and tried to spread it on the pieces of bread, but it didn't spread very well. That's okay, there are other ways that you can enjoy it, one of which is cream cheese. The way I would use the cream cheese is by buying whipped cream cheese. It's much easier than having to set a brick of cream cheese out. Whipped cream cheese is already pretty soft, so you can just take it straight out of the fridge and spread it on wherever you'd like. This is where I realized that the butter was just too hard and I gave up. So I took a sip of coffee and decided to just eat my bread the way it was. It was pretty tasty, but I wish I would have just softened the butter a bit more. That's okay. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.